Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AndrewChicken, and welcome back to another video. The PTS is now back online, and it got a pretty interesting new update with some very spicy stuff indeed. And of course, let's just talk about the biggest news up first. Dark Stalker is now in the PTS twice. Androxus is having a very wild time on the PTS here. So we have the original I say original, we have the first version of Dark Stalker that we saw on the PTS, which still has not been implemented. This is still Curse Revolver. We can pick this up, and yeah, the DOT is still there. But we now have this new option, which is the Dark Stalker that people were asking for, which is Nether Step now has 3 separate charges and is no longer linked. So where's Defiant Fist? Are they removing Defiant Fist now? Well, no, because check this out. Scroll down, and Defiant Fist is here, so we can still play Defiant Fist, and yeah, we can just bop, and then the punch does more damage. So Defiant Fist still exists, but we can check out this Dark Stalker, and it's very interesting, and it's also not fully implemented. It doesn't fully work. So we can dash, and it feels very snappy, the dash. Like, we go fast, and then it kind of just halts our momentum. It's like, do. It feels very snappy. But also, you'll notice there, I used my dash, and then there was still a duration on the Nether Step for some reason, and then it went on cooldown, and I couldn't use any other dashes. So the dashes still are not, like, separate, but they do have the very low cooldown. So we can kind of go whoop, and then, yeah, we have a very low cooldown. And now they're back on cooldown again. It's very funky. It's not working really at all. But the Nether Step is noticeably different to the default Nether Step. We can actually switch back to Godslayer here, which is just kind of a default version. We can see much less snappy. They're just the dashes that we're used to. And also, the glide is, well, actually, the whole, like, gliding thing is actually way stronger with the Dark Stalker talent. We pick this up, and we can see, at least during the duration of the dash, we're basically not going down. It's like we're flying. Like, we don't really go down at all, and then once that little period expires, then we start to float down, which is very interesting to say the least, and it actually does feel quite good and interesting. Like, we have a lot of control over our movements now, and keep in mind, this is all with the buffed air control as well, so we can really kind of just kind of zoom around. But yeah, this really doesn't work that well. They definitely need to polish up the whole charge system, because yeah, the fact that I can just kind of use one and it uses the cooldown for all, or like I get the cooldown back there and then it goes back on cooldown again, it's all just, it doesn't work. I hope they manage to hammer out the bugs here, but Dark Stalker is back, and yeah, assuming they get everything fixed, it should hopefully, I think, probably ship in the next update, which is very exciting indeed. No more Curse Revolver. That's very exciting to me. I don't like having a hit scan damage over time that can hit people from all the way over here. Oh, it's horrible. Next up, let's talk about Nyx. So Nyx got some buffs, and also she got her abilities fixed. So she now basically works as intended. So one thing you'll notice is she actually has much better range now. Much better range now. But yeah, once you get out of fall-off range, oh my goodness, the fall-off is so steep. 20 damage and then eventually no damage. But that effective range is now much longer. So yeah, she has a little bit more poke. It's still not like a great poke or anything, but yeah, it's something. And then also, of course, we can bring this out with a punch build, which increases the trigger distance of Realmbreaker's bonus damage. And yeah, we can take advantage of this full damage pretty reasonably. I think this hasn't really been changed, but you'll notice the damage is simply just higher now. So we do 250 per light attack, and then 475 per heavy attack when we're in that bonus damage range. And then out of bonus damage range, 175 per light, 400 per heavy. But it means we're much more able to kill things now. So just from start to finish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exactly to kill the victor. No overkill whatsoever on that. But we can, of course, combine that with this thing and just, yeah, really go to town. And with one of those things, we only need one attack pattern and then we're done. So her damage does feel much, much better now. And also, we can finally play with the chain. So we pop this up, and then yoink, and we get to pull the Ying. And I think it would have pulled Fernando and Victor as well, but these little logs here are a bit strange in the shooting range. So in fact, we can actually kind of just head over here and test it out on these Victors. And yeah, we should be able to pull all of them in. This is a pull that just affects everyone in the radius. So we pop this, and then yoink. Never mind, it only affects one of them. So I guess it only affects really what you're looking at, probably? Let's see, so if I just do this and then get in range of both of them and then yoink. Okay, so now it pulls both of them. I'm guessing it's just kind of almost like a Conan, like where you're looking, I guess. So like if I do this, and then get in range here, and then yoink. Yeah, it pulls him, but not these two, so I guess it's more of an aimed thing, and they do have to be in your radius. I guess just to confirm, we can do this, make sure we're out of the radius, and then... No, it still pulls them. Okay, now I'm just really confused. Also, you'll notice, the aura is kind of just missing. Like, we can't really see where the pull radius is at all anymore. It's fixed, but it also seems more broken at the same time. But yeah, the point is, she now has crowd control on her ability. So you cancel the, what's it called? The Royal Presence early, and you get this crowd control, but at the cost of no longer being able to kind of have that whole petrified blood effect, where you take damage more slowly, and kind of convert burst damage into a damage over time. And it seems like the cone isn't, like, particularly large either, but it does still seem larger than the cone that her primary attacks have. Which, I mean, is a little bit of a cone. Also, Subjugation works, and it's scary. It's so... Oh god. Oh, it's scary. Because you're not misreading this. Royal Presence's reactivation now only hits the first enemy in its path, and instead roots them for 3 seconds. That's not a typo. That's not a mistake. It's actually 3 seconds. Take a look at this.
Break against my body.
What? What? You mean to tell me I can root someone for 3 seconds? With Resilience 3, that goes down to, like, what, 3/4 of a second? This is the longest root in the game and one of the longest crowd control effects in the game, and that is utterly absurd. That will get someone killed almost every time, as long as her team is attentive. This will most likely easily be her best talent. Because even if she isn't the one getting the kill, because of her damage, what if this person's rooted in front of, like, Octavia? Goodbye, lights out, you're dead, no coming back from that. I'm scared. I'm absolutely okay with the idea of Nyx having a root. Don't get me wrong. But maybe 2 seconds at most. 3 seconds is terrifying. And it's not even on that long of a cooldown either. Royal Presence has an 11-second cooldown. For comparison, we can check out the cooldown on Imani's root, because I forget, so let's see. It's actually a 15-second cooldown, so hers is even longer. And of course, it is an AoE route, while hers is single target. Nyx is a single target. But this is significantly shorter of a route. So, oh man, I'm very scared of Nyx players now. I guess also another qualification for why the route would be so long is it is, of course, a shorter range. But, still. It's a 3-second route. Now, real quick before we talk about the healer changes, there is one change to Kasumi on the PTS that might intrigue some of you. So you can no longer just hold left click and then start, like, attacking a target. So, like, if I'm holding left click over here and then I hover over Fernando, I just don't start attacking him. So I have to let go of left click, and then now that he's in range, I have to start attacking. And then we can stop doing that, hover back over him, and basically I'm no longer attacking him again. So I have to make sure that whenever they are inside of this little cone, that I hold left click, and then if they leave the cone, I have to left click again. So it's kind of a pseudo semi-auto thing. Like if I kill Ying here, I guess since she was in my sight, and then I immediately, like, it switched to Victor, I still was able to attack. Like, if we kill Victor now... No, it still attacks Ying. Okay, so it seems a bit buggy. But the point is, I can't just start holding left click while looking over here, and then aim at Fernando. So it adds a little bit of timing into Kasumi now. She can't just hold left click down the entire game, turn the corner, and immediately start doing damage to the first thing she sees. It's a tiny bit more interactive than that. But you will notice it's still very forgiving aim. I am at least one full Ying away from this Ying right now, and I'm still able to hit her. So, still the easiest weapon to use in the game, or at least in the damage class, but you now have a little bit of a semi-auto feature to it, and it's very janky. But now let's talk about the support changes. So I did talk about these in my last video, but they didn't really tell us any of the numbers of the actual nerfs they did to the supports to compensate for the fact that they have these new passives on a lot of their talents. Surgery, a remedy, and then of course curative. So yeah, let's just kind of see first what they did to Pip. So Pip has 20% extra healing now on Combat Medic, 10% extra damage on Catalyst, and 5% extra damage and 10% extra healing on Mega Potion. But he has taken some nerfs to his base kit to compensate. So one thing I actually noticed right out the gate is that Catalyst does not actually have 10% extra damage. They nerfed him to 570 damage per attack, and with Catalyst, it's still 570. And it'll also be 570 damage, of course. We can take a look at Combat Medic. It's still 570. This actually has major implications, this nerf. In particular for Combat Medic, less so the other two, assuming they get Catalyst to actually start working. Because you can ult, shoot, right-click, shoot. And it does not kill the chicken anymore. That is a classic combination that, no matter what, you know, as long as you're not grazing them... Ooh, as long as you're not grazing them, it will kill the chicken. But now, it no longer will kill the chicken if you're using Combat Medic, so you're even more dependent on your team to kill the chickens now. And it should not be the case with Catalyst, but again, as you can see, Catalyst does not currently work on the PTS, at least when it comes to that 10% extra damage. Obviously, the talent still works, but the damage is significantly lower now. Now, Mega Potion, weirdly enough, does work, and he does 598 damage per second. That's so weird. That's so weird. Also, the Catalyst does 157 damage. These are some funky damage numbers, man. But if you get an ultimate, you are back to easily killing the chicken. No problem. And the ultimate itself does 210 damage now, which is very strange. But yeah, Pip. Got some weird changes. Now we can also check out the healing. His potion still does 1,000. That was with Catalyst. But Mega Potion now should hopefully do, well, let's see. Healing Potion's healing is increased by 100%, so that's 2,000. But then it does 10% extra healing on top of that, so it should do 2,200, I believe. And if we attack Fernando, or let them attack Fernando and then heal him back up, indeed it is 2,200 healing. So I think it's actually back up to pre-rework levels of healing, and then it still applies that shield. So Mega Potion getting a very nice hybrid buff here. And then Combat Medic is just... Just look. Just look.
Don't die on me.
It does 900 damage per shot, or 900 healing per shot. And of course, a 1,200 healing potion, because of course, the passive now makes his healing 20% more effective. And mind you, this is without Rejuvenate. Can you imagine? Now, Inara, Mother's Grace, Rejuve 3.
I feel stronger.
Oh god. They might actually need to nerf Combat Medic.
Get back in there.
They keep buffing it, and buffing it, and buffing it. It's at a point now where it's actually pretty darn strong. And this now is just ludicrous. But bear in mind, of course, Cauterize exists. And late game, obviously his damage is 30 damage weaker. And the chicken combo now no longer works. So, yeah, kind of a weird power shift for Pip. Now, Grok is a weird one. It seems like the passives have not been included on Spirit's Domain nor Totemic Ward, but Maelstrom has its passive. Also, I'm going to show you something weird with Spirit's Domain in a second, and also the totems have been nerfed. So, Maelstrom, also, inherently you can see here, has a nerf. It increases the damage of Lightning Staff to 70. used to be 75, so that is a nerf. But then it does 10% additional damage, meaning the lightning staff actually starts at 77 damage, making this the highest DPS Grok has had in all time, perhaps? I don't remember when he's done more damage than 77 damage per tick, or starting at 77 damage anyways. That's pretty crazy. But also bear in mind the 10% damage will apply to his shock pulse itself. Wrong build. Oops. So yeah, check out this damage. Caps out at 96 now. And yeah, I mean, geez, we can kill Fernando in exactly one clip. But then when you combine it with a shock pulse, it just gets ludicrous. 165 per bounce. Oh my goodness, he's a proper damage champion now. This is, well, that's assuming he wasn't a proper damage champion before. He was, but now, like, oh my goodness. We're actually doing really darn good damage here. Maelstrom is scary this patch, assuming it makes it into live like this. But, obviously, the totems are even weaker now. They did implement that nerf on the PTS, so look at this. Oh man, 38.5 healing per tick on Fernando. We cannot keep him alive with Maelstrom, absolutely not. But we can keep him alive with Spirit's Domain. Technically. Yeah! Now here's something interesting I noticed. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me Spirit's Domain also inherits the same damage buff as Maelstrom? Yes, indeed, it does. For some reason. And also bear in mind, Spirit's Domain has that little bit of kind of easy aim where it kind of just has almost aim assist on it. You can see I'm not aiming at Fernando right now and I'm still hitting him. So that's a bug that's got to be hammered out, because Spirit's Domain is not supposed to do this much damage. So that must leave you asking, well, does Totemic Ward do extra damage? No! It doesn't! Are you kidding? That would be silly. It actually starts at, I think, what is it, 68? It starts at 68. And the Shock Pulse says 157. I'm really confused. I'm really confused. What are these damage numbers? They are destroying my boy Grok right now. The totems do 49 healing per tick, which I don't remember what they were before that because I haven't played Totemic Ward in a while. But yeah, at least the totems on Totemic Ward are significantly better than the other two playstyles. But man, what are they doing to Grok? Now, Grover also has these passives, and we can kind of just check these out briefly and see a little bit of what they've done to him. So, Ferocity now does, obviously, 60% damage, or increased damage scaling by 60%, but then it has the 10% extra damage on top of it. This now hits for almost 1,000, which is ludicrous. I think they also nerfed his axe damage to compensate. I could be misremembering. But the point is now, we can aim down the lane. And, oh my goodness, 970 damage? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Yeah, pretty insane damage, but the healing is actually lower on Ferocity now. So, you can take a look at this. 600 burst instead of 650. So, yeah, a little bit weaker. Now we can go over to Rampant Blooming, which has 20% increased healing. And we can kind of see what that is like. So,
Gracias for the healing.
Wait. And that is a 720 burst heal. And then this does whatever that was. It's hard to see in the flurry of healing. And you also have to bear in mind this also affects the ultimate. So Grover's ultimate is actually even stronger with Rampant Blooming. It's 20% stronger, which 20% of 2,500 is a pretty big deal. 2,500 healing per second is what Whirlwind does. Very, very powerful ultimate. But yeah, we can also check out this damage. As a matter of fact, we can get right up close and just see. Woo! Look at that damage! Oh man, 300 damage. I don't actually know if this is weaker. I am not really that much of a Grover player, so I don't know how much weaker this is. I feel like I've seen him do 1,000 plus damage axes before with Ferocity, but I could be misremembering. So yeah, you'll have to let me know about that in the comments, but that is Grover, and also, of course, this goes without mentioning, but we can see our own radius now. Also, it looks really weird in first person, because you look up, and then the radius moves with you. I don't think... I don't think that's supposed to be a thing. That's a bit weird. I think they're going to have to fix that, but, yeah, at least you can kind of see it in first person now. Gosh, that is weird. They really got to fix that, but yeah, we can also, I guess, take a look at deep roots, technically. Don't use deep roots. Just don't use deep roots. But we can take a look at deep roots. So here we go. Hello. Here we go. We can take a look at the heal on this. So pop the heal. It's actually still 600, so the passive is, it doesn't seem to be working. But the healing pool does spawn, and it's very tiny, and it moves with the enemies. Fine, please work. It moves with the enemies, so you have to follow the enemies around to get the healing. It's, don't use this talent. Don't use this talent. And last but not least, of course, we can check out Furia. So, Furia got some buffs and nerfs, just like the rest of these characters we've seen so far. So we can check out Exterminate. And first of all, we can show you the nerfed heal. So we can heal Fernando here, and I believe it is now 850. Yes, it's an 850 burst, so significantly weaker. And also with Cherish, it is still significantly weaker. This is supposed to have, by the way, the remedy effect, but it does not currently. So we can grab Cherish here, and yeah, that was a 980 heal. It might actually be doing a bit more healing now. Yeah, it is doing a bit more healing than I last tested, so maybe the effect is there, but it's just not written in the description. Yeah, you'll notice, like, we are barely going above 1,000 now with Cherish. It is significantly weaker. I guess we can also check out the damage. So by default, she does 350 damage. So if we get close like this, 331. So it seems like she's doing a bit more damage as well. It's just a... I guess it's there, but it's not written in the description. Okay. Anyways, we can check out Exterminate now. Oh boy. When Pyre Strike hits an enemy, yada yada yada. Point is, 10% more damage. On all of this. Look at this beam! 440 burst, and it scales right the way up to 43 now. And yeah, also, this is doing 348 damage up close. 347, I guess. A little bit weird. It can't decide whether it's 347 or 348. But yeah, we can do this, and then this. The Celerity Balls also do damage. And yeah, look at the burst. Exterminate is nightmarishly good on the PTS right now. Because you take an already powerful talent on an already powerful character who has some of the most powerful damage in the support class, and then you buff that by 10%, you just have a mess on your hands. And of course we can ult as well. Boom. Boom. Bear in mind that only applies for weapon shots. But there was a Fernando, now there's not a Fernando. There was a Ying, now there's not a Ying. Oh my gosh, where did Victor go? I'm scared! Off support Furia, Exterminate is going to be a menace. You can't really solo support with Exterminate, I think, after this healing nerf, because it is a pretty substantial healing nerf. But, you know, maybe pair it with some Ferocity Grover or some Rampant Grover, or any other of the multitudes of supports we have in this game. And, well, you basically just have a really powerful damage champion on your team with the best ultimate in the game. It also lets her go up here. Very, very terrifying. And also, last but not least, we can check out Solar Blasting. Again, this is another talent which you don't really go, because it restricts your team so much if they want to get healed. It forces them to stand still. But you can grab it, and it will, of course, be doing 20% more healing, just flat out. So we heal this Fernando. 1,020 healing. You know what? What's the point of Cherish? Okay, so this does 20% additional healing. This does 18% additional healing based on the allies' missing health. So if they're healthier, they actually get way less healing from the right click than Solar Blessing. I guess the only point of Cherish now is that technically it does do 5% extra damage because of the passive, and then also it has extra range, but... oh man, what have they done to Furious talents? I'm so confused. But yeah, also the beam is going to do 20% more healing now. 20% of 3,000 is, fun fact, a lot. Nothing's really actually changed in that department. The beam is going to feel just as absurdly broken when you're standing inside of it, but you have to stand inside of it. You can't move when you're inside of it, like, at all. You just gotta stand, like, right here. But, I mean, hey, if you want a healing nuke, then there you go. And yeah, of course, also the damage is back down to being, you know, the quote-unquote weak version. But bear in mind, you can also use that as not point Exterminate. I don't know, maybe we will see more Solar Blessing played, just because Cherish has been made much less appealing. But then again, what am I saying? I don't know. I'm not a Furia player. I'm just bringing the news, and these changes are very, very weird. I kind of am just struggling to really know what to make of this, apart from Exterminate being busted, and of course Maelstrom also being busted. So yeah, there you go. And these are the only supports who've really been affected with these passives, so there's not really much else to check out. I guess apart from Ying's Illusions doing 20 more healing per second. Oh boy!
I feel stronger, healer.
You still can't solo heal with Focusing Lens. You still can't solo heal with Resonance. Stop. But yeah, that is just about everything in the brand new PTS update that we just got, including this very snappy, floaty Dark Stalker, which, oh my goodness, when have we had dashes like these in a while? This is funky, especially with the air strafing as well. It actually feels really quite good. But yeah, a buggy Dark Stalker nonetheless. They still need to fix it a little bit, but I imagine this will be a very fun playstyle here in the near future. And yeah, support changes, which seem to be a bit half-implemented at the moment. I'm sure they're still working on that. Nyx buffs and fixes, and oh my god, she has a 3-second root! And yeah, it's just a very, very interesting PTS update. So again, it is live. And for those of you who are inevitably going to ask this in the comments, well, when am I going to get this on Xbox? When am I going to get this on PS4? You're going to get it at the same time as this PC, folks. This is the public test server. This is not the live game. This is not the live update for anybody. We are testing on the test server, which is available on Steam. So this is technically a second game. So yeah, if you want to get it, it's Steam only, sadly. You just go to the Paladins store page on Steam, and there's a little notice, and you click that, and bam, you're in the PTS. But yeah, this is not live, right, Victor? It's not live. So yeah, just thought I'd clarify that, because I get those comments on literally every single video, every single time a new PTS comes out. And, yeah, I guess I have to remind people every time the PTS comes out as well. Oh boy, it's a vicious cycle. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed, of course, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from me. And make sure to check out the Twitch channel and the Discord server, both of which are linked in the description down below. We stream regularly on Twitch, and of course we have a lovely active community of people on Discord, so yeah, go check both of them out. Oh my goodness, I just dashed 5 times in a row. What is this talent, man? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out.